the money and how we continue to make sure that capital is in this ecosystem. There are some notable angel investors here. I would identify them, but I don't know if they want me to, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs in here too. But there are some folks that have been doing the work for a long time that are in this room. What do we need to continue to do to make sure that there are more examples, folks that can tell the story? I was in Atlanta and I found a notable entrepreneur or fund that had the capital to invest in me. And Top, I'll start with you, and then
yeah.
Same
so
question.
I don't claim to. I would definitely not get hired as a venture capitalist. So let me preface anything I say by that. I guess maybe sort of what I see from my vantage point is that there's a lot of capital for seed stage businesses, right? And seed and Series A businesses. And so for context, those are businesses that are maybe doing their first $100,000 or so in revenue, maybe $100,000 to a few millions, which is not a minor feat. And so there's a lot of funds that do that, that are dying to find those businesses. And not only they're dying to find those businesses, they also want to see a path from $1 million in revenue to $100 million in revenue, which not many companies have that potential, right? And so I say that to say that capital is really reserved for billion-dollar businesses, right? And future billion-dollar businesses. And there's a lot of room between $0 and $1 billion. Just because you don't have a billion-dollar idea, or you don't care to start a billion-dollar business, doesn't mean you should get sort of left out of the. You should get left out. So anyway, there's a lot of capital for those businesses. I think where I think the pipeline is, which a lot of drop off in the funnel in the pipeline, is getting businesses from a concept, from an idea, to their first 100K or so in revenue, to their first $1 million in revenue. That is one of the it's the most difficult phase for any business. If you can get through that, there's a lot of support, there's a lot of capital to help you scale it to many millions of dollars, but getting there is really, really difficult. And one of the things I've been encouraged by is programs like Zane Access, for example, and literally and a few folks here might be familiar with what they do, but essentially what they do is help entrepreneurs go from ideas to their first $100,000 in revenue and greater. And I've been able to support sort of the work that they're doing, because it is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. And it's still very early days for them, but I've been encouraged by some of the feedback I've heard from people who are going through their program. Somebody texted me, somebody that I actually knew from the Tech Village, working for a different startup. She ended up enrolling in this Zane Access, and a few weeks ago she sent me a text saying, "Hey, I'm glad that you were supporting Zane. I'm now a part of it, and I'm hoping that I'm a part of it, and I'm working on my first business idea." And so it's a very, very small anecdote, but I think the city needs more of that, right? And I think that's how we get more people to sort of participate in entrepreneurship, is to increase the number of people who go from idea to their first $100,000 in revenue and beyond.
So throughout the night, y'all, you're going to hear a ton of people and programs that we'll reference. I'm going to do my best to highlight them and zoom in. Tremendous program. What Shyla and team are doing at Zane is amazing. Please, if you are an entrepreneur and need access to that platform, please look it up and engage. You mentioned this journey though, between 100,000 to $1 million, and ultimately trying to build $1 billion.